This is your boy Mikey B, off work sports, and we really off work now. COVID's here. Everybody's probably working from home or some off-ended schedule, and the NBA is not immune to that type of status. They come out with a new schedule. You'll see my first video that details what happens. Now we get into the player movements and what's happening. There's a lot of players expected to be there who are going to be out either to protect themselves from COVID or they're just getting the COVID virus and they have to be separated from the team. We're going to go through all of the details throughout all the conferences under 10 minutes. And then we're going to discuss one team in detail. That is the Brooklyn Nets. I want to go into what's happening there with those guys. So from top to bottom, Boston Celtics right now at this time, be advised, if a player tests for COVID 2 times, he's out of there. He cannot play in the reopening starting on July 22nd is the reschedule for the scrimmages. So with that said, let's look at what we got. Boston. 2 guys having babies, Hayward and Poirier. I think this is a big loss for Boston. I know they have Brown. I know they have, Tatum as well. But you need a third punch. I think he was that big loss. I think Hayward could provide valuable minutes for this team. I know they're probably looking to move him or Brown, one of the two, but he's valuable. He's out. Brooklyn Nets, Jesus Christ, what moves there? If you ever seen the videos, Mike Beasley, shout out to you. I like it. I like the buzz. I like the confidence. If you remember, there's a boxer by the name of Shannon the Brigman going, "Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ." He does that all the time. Beasley now has his own motto, and that is, "I am the one," right? I'm one of the ones, right? So he's killing it with that motto. I believe I said that wrong, but it's something with "I am the one." You know, Beasley's coming out and gets signed by the Nets. YouTube buzz, go watch some Swish videos. You'll see it. Beasley signs with the Nets, as well as the old man, my favorite dribbler in history for me because he's about my height. Actually, I'm a little smaller than him, but 6'6" crossover god. Jamal Crawford also signs at the tender age of near 40. But hey, he still got it. You know, he can still move, and he wasn't really a super leaper. He was a very smooth, swiftful player. I think he still has some in him. The reason why, now we go into the detail. Look at Taurean Prince, test positive, will not play in Orlando. Dinwiddie, that's huge. I mean, that really puts the casket in there. But I'm going to go over the Wizards in a second and show how they're not even trying. But Dinwiddie is out. That's horrible, and that's why they were looking for some scoring, and they got Crawford. Mr. Jordan, Mr. Blockman, Dunkman, Jordan is out as well. And then we get Chandler's also out of the picture. They were hurting. As you can see, they had 4 players that are good as gone. Claxton, that adds on 5, the rookie, he's gone. Durant obviously wasn't going to play. So they got to replace those guys. You get Crawford, you get Beasley. Let's get into the other 2. They decided to get Justin Anderson. Again, I like these pickups, athletic players, guys that can score multiple positions. They get Anderson, interesting ways to see what he does. And then they get Tyler Johnson, another big defensive guard. Let's see what happens there. That's interesting. I just want to see those guys play because guess what? I like all 4 of those guys. I think they should be in the NBA. Tyler Johnson, again, played on Miami, went to Phoenix. Justin Anderson, super athletic out of Virginia, never got the opportunity to play. Will have the opportunity now. And then you got Crawford and Beasley, obviously former superstars in my mind, get the opportunity to play. All right. Now we get into the Pacers. Brogdon tests positive. Goodbye. So he tests positive again. He's goodbye. Or Oladipo's not playing. So again, the Pacers, Brogdon being if he's out, they're out, completely out. He's a huge factor for them. Miami Heat, their leaper, Jones Jr. is out. Tested positive. One more hit, he's out of there. Heat shut down. Bus closed facility. Again, a lot of players are getting tested positive. They're not naming any names. I'm assuming Grief Freak's in there. They won't say it. I wouldn't say it either. You don't want to risk of him getting 2 strikes and being out. They're going to shut up. And also, they have a chance at a championship. This is very important for the Milwaukee Bucks to be fully healthy and fully ready to go. Ryan Brokoff as well. comes in to support the Philadelphia 76ers. I didn't hear anyone being out for those guys, so from a roster move perspective, but they signed Ryan Brokoff, who can shoot the three. Great pickup there. Toronto's still in there, no roster news as of yet. I bet they'll stay silent. Then you got Washington Wizards. Here comes Bradley Beal. No Wall. John Wall's not playing. Bertans going to sit out. Bertans just got a big contract. You got Beal there as well. They go ahead and sign Jerry Grant, add him to the roster. Again, I thought with the guys that were out for the Nets that the Washington Wizards may have had a chance, but now with all of this, I don't know what happens next. I bet they're hoping they get to the lottery, to be honest with you. But again, all their stars are out, so we'll see what happens next. Somebody's going to have to step up there. Interesting for me, I'm a little bit disappointed in Willie Cauley-Stein, but he opts out of the restart. I guess there's some family issues or something that he has to deal with, maybe a baby. It's not listed here, but he decides not to play. And they needed him, right? They lost their big blocking man, and they needed another big blocking man, and that's what Cauley-Stein was supposed to be. But he opts not to play in this series. But they can find somebody else G League wise that can help out. Trey Burke signs from the guard position. They already had Barea and all those guys, so now they get Trey Burke in there. He fulfills some roles, he fulfills some spots, and then you got Courtney Lee that will miss the start of the season, not due to or workouts, not due to COVID, but due to the fact that he has a messed up calf. All right, now we go into Denver, another one of my favorites. They can sneak in, but Jokic tested positive. That was a couple weeks ago. So they're going to quarantine and see if they can get him through. PJ Dozier, another long player, reminiscent of a Crawford. He decides to go ahead and sign a multi-year deal. Not he decides, Denver decides. So good news for him, and he deserves it. Mbah Moute signs with the Rockets. They had another big man vet that's formerly paid for the team and knows D'Antoni style, so not bad there. Nwaba has also added another big defensive guard. Still no big man for the Houston Rockets. Very interesting. We'll see how that plays out. Remember, they went small ball and traded their big man over to Atlanta. So we'll see what happens there with those guys. Los Angeles Clippers, Shamet tests positive for coronavirus. And then, so you know what they do? They sign in Joakim Noah for some muscle. That muscle is meant for the team below. We'll discuss. But Shamet testing positive, he has to play in order for them to win. He's a valuable 6th, 7th man for this team. He has to play. I know Lewis Williams is there, but I consider Shamet as another 6th man and sometimes a starter, depending on the lineup they want to play. All right. Now, Los Angeles Lakers, Dwight Howard says he will make his return. Again, that's why Joakim Noah has been signing there for some muscle. They also signed J.R. Smith. And remember, they also got Mr. Dion Waiters. Avery Bradley says no bueno, can't play, has kids, is afraid of the corona outbreak. Again, no one's faulting these guys. It's a crazy disease. Who knows? You could lose your life over this thing. So Lakers add in 2 big guards that I think will be fruitful from an offensive perspective. We got to see what they do for a defensive perspective. Mr. Tolliver gets some senior leadership over to the Memphis Grizzlies. They get that. He signs over with the Grizzlies. New Orleans, what's up with those guys? Again, another team with a chance to make the playoffs. And we'll talk about those moves in another video for the West Coast. But Miller remains to continue rehab. They add Mr. Thornwell, all right, as a substitute player. Interesting pickup in Thornwell. Thought they could get somebody else, but they did not. And they have a couple players tested positive. No names there. Obviously, keep it mouth shut up at Zion. I don't care if he has it. Quarantine him and get him back. Oklahoma City signs their rookie, Lucans Dort. Okay, great player out of Arizona. So Arizona State, one of those guys. So I think this is a good pickup for those guys, and I think he's gonna be fruitful in the future as a big defensive guard. Okay, he's gonna be a big, strong defensive guard in the future. Fulfill that future, sign him. Smart move there from that team. All right, Suns. They say, you know what? Let's get Mr. Cameron Payne. He was also a YouTuber doing his thing, still scoring. He was playing with Mr. John Moran. I saw in a couple YouTube highlight games in some courts. And Kelly Oubre, torn meniscus, he's out. So that goes that team, right? The West has more teams than the East, by the way. So because more people were in the hunt for the playoffs, you'll see my other video that details how they've kind of figured out the layout and who's playing who. Portland Trailblazers. They go ahead and sign Mr. Adams to a deal. I don't know about this, and he opts out. The reason why is Ariza, a huge pickup for them. Huge. All right. And it's a critical year for Portland as well. They're not getting any younger. Ariza's hurting me here, right? This is an opportunity. They need to get this guy playing. He has to do what's best for his family. Decides not to. They go ahead and sign Adams to a deal, and we'll see what Adams can do to fulfill that slot. Okay. Now Sacramento's hurt a lot more. Remember they traded for Parker from Atlanta. They get Alex Len from Atlanta. They get Buddy Hield, right? He also tested positive, so if they get hit one more time, it's over. But they also bring back Corey Brewer, another long defensive man. I think this team is positive, and they also have an opportunity. Definitely, Phoenix is out of it. It'll be Sacramento and Portland, as well as New Orleans and Memphis. New Orleans fighting for that last slot, in my opinion. Next up is San Antonio Spurs. They signed Tyler Zeller, and then Aldridge will not play. He has to have shoulder surgery, so... in my beings, I would love to see those guys out of it. I want a team fully healthy that can play. And the 4 teams I just mentioned are closer to that. Let's get the San Antonio Spurs out of there, but I don't think they can because their record's still good enough. And then big loss for Utah. Huge. Bogdanovich is wrist surgery out for the rest of the season. Wow. COVID, not only COVID's hurting, you get injuries. Off Work Sports giving you all the details. We'll start to detail each team and what they need. This is going to be so interesting and exciting to watch. Off Work Sports. I'm signing off. Please like, subscribe, share the video. Basketball wise, guys, I am the guru. I can predict the future, the genie in the bottle. Rub it. I got it. Off Work Sports. I'm signing off. Peace.